Welcome back, everyone. Ready for another deep dive?
Always excited to see what we uncover.
Today, we're tackling a topic you guys have been really curious about, Starseed Psychics.
Ah, yes. You sent over a whole bunch of stuff about them, their website, some articles, even forum discussions.
Sounds like you want the full picture.
Definitely. What they're all about, who's running the show, what makes them stand out from the crowd. It's a lot to unpack.
Well, good thing we have a whole deep dive to do it.
Right.
But first things first, for anyone just joining us, what exactly is Starseed Psychics? Is this just another online psychic service?
Well, that's where things get interesting. They do offer those traditional readings, healing sessions, that kind of thing. But they've also created something more than that. It's like a platform, a marketplace for other spiritual vendors.
Like an Etsy, but mystical?
Exactly.
So I could get my aura read and buy like some handcrafted incense all in one place.
You got it. And from what you've sent over, it seems like a pretty diverse group of vendors.
What kind of folks are we talking about here?
It's everything from crystal jewelry makers and herbalists to people offering guided meditations or online courses on things like tarot and energy work.
Wow, a true spiritual marketplace. But there's something else that really jumps out from their website, this emphasis on spiritual awakening.
It's woven through everything they do, isn't it?
Yeah, it's more than just a business, it seems like. They're really on a mission to, like, guide people towards a deeper understanding of themselves and their place in the universe.
It makes you wonder, is this a new wave of spirituality, merging with the online world?
It definitely raises some questions. So who are the people behind this ambitious endeavor?
Well, that's where it gets really fascinating. The founders, Mistress Gypsy Wind and Master Psychic Spirit Walker, are an interesting pair. They've got this unique blend of, mysticism and practicality.
What do you mean?
Well, they're deeply connected to Native American traditions, but they also have backgrounds in, like, the military, medicine, even business.
Wait, hold on. A military background, A&D, a spiritual leader. That's not something you see every day. This Spirit Walker guy sounds like he's straight out of a novel.
He's a bit of a multi-hyphenate, that's for sure. He's listed as a psychic, healer, Zen priest, even a holistic advisor. And get this. According to HS Access to the Akashic Records, his soul's purpose is to be a teacher.
Okay, hold up, back up a second. Akashic Records. What are those exactly?
Think of it as this universal library containing like all the knowledge and experiences of every soul. It's a concept you find in a lot of spiritual traditions. And some people believe that individuals with like heightened spiritual abilities can actually access this information. Spirit Walker claims to be one of those individuals.
That's incredible. But what I find really interesting is how he combines all these seemingly different fields. He's got a medical science background, coupled with intuitive herbalism, experience as a combat medic, A&D, a counterintelligence agent. Oh, and he also throws accomplished writer, editor, and SEO advisor into the mix. This guy wears a lot of hats.
It really makes you question those traditional assumptions about what it means to be a spiritual leader in today's world, doesn't it? He's a fascinating example of how someone can integrate ancient wisdom and practical skills to create a really unique path.
Makes you wonder if this blend of spirituality and practicality is becoming more and more common.
Yeah.
So what about his counterpart, Gypsy Wind? What's her story?
She's equally fascinating, described as a powerful healer, even a verified carrier of the violet flame.
The violet flame. Okay, now that sounds pretty intense. Fill me in here. What is that?
It's this concept found in certain spiritual traditions, particularly those with roots in theosophy. The violet flame is believed to be this, like, high-frequency spiritual energy. It's got transformative properties. It's said to transmute negative energy into positive, promoting healing, spiritual growth, that kind of thing.
Okay, so Gypsy, when carrying this flame, really points to her powerful healing abilities.
Got it.
But there's more to her than that, right?
Oh, absolutely. She actually handles all the art services for Starseed Psychics clients. She's a talented artist in her own right, and she incorporates her artistic skills into her healing practice, too.
Wow, so they get a personalized art piece as part of their healing session.
It seems so, yeah. Adds another layer to their offerings, wouldn't you say?
It definitely sets them apart. And she was already a successful reader and healer on other platforms before co-founding Starseed Psychics. These founders are quite the power couple. But what about the rest of their team? Are they all Starseeds like the founders?
From the information you've given me, it looks like the whole team is made up of people with, unique spiritual gifts and experiences.
So they're not just answering phones and scheduling appointments.
Nope. Take, for example, Samantha Wells and James Walker. They're the customer service representatives.
Okay.
They both have backgrounds in energy healing and are super involved in their local spiritual communities.
So even interacting with customer service could be a spiritual experience.
It seems that way. And then there's John Simpleton, the webmaster.
What's his deal?
Well, guess what? He's not just a tech whiz. He's also a psychic, a healer, and a chant artist.
Wow. Seems like having those extra dimensions is a prerequisite for working at Starseed Psychics. So where are these mystical entrepreneurs based? Are they tucked away in some remote ashram, meditating in the mountains?
You might be surprised to hear that they're actually located in Flagstaff, Arizona.
Huh, interesting. Not quite the isolated mountaintop retreat I was picturing. But it makes sense, I guess. And considering their whole mission of mass spiritual awakening, I'm guessing they're pretty dedicated to, making themselves accessible.
Absolutely. They offer customer service 7 days a week from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. And of course, the website's up and running 24/7, ready to guide seekers on their spiritual journeys.
Okay, so they're serious about spreading their message and reaching as many people as possible. So we've got this fascinating team, a unique business model, and this grand vision of spiritual awakening. What stands out to you the most so far?
What strikes me is how Starseed Psychics brings together all these seemingly separate worlds. Ancient wisdom with modern technology, spiritual practices with business savvy.
Right.
It's like a microcosm of this larger conversation that's happening about the role of spirituality in a world that's changing so rapidly.
It makes you wonder, doesn't it? Are they pioneers of a new spiritual paradigm? Or are they just, capitalizing on a growing trend? To really get a clearer picture, I think we need to dive deeper into the specifics of what they actually offer.
Well, they've got a pretty extensive menu of readings, healings, consultations. They even have a radio show.
And that's just the stuff they offer directly. Don't forget, they also have that whole marketplace with offerings from other vendors.
Right. We've got a lot of ground to cover.
Ready to unpack it all.
Let's dive in.
Okay, so we've met the starseeds behind this whole operation. But now I'm kind of curious about the, nuts and bolts. What do they actually offer?
Right, getting into the specifics.
Yeah. Their website, it's a bit of a whirlwind. Readings, courses, a whole marketplace. I don't even know where to start.
Well, remember, they function as both direct service providers and a platform for other vendors. So let's kind of break it down that way.
Okay, makes sense.
First, what do they personally offer using their own expertise?
Right. That's where their psychic and healing abilities come in.
Yeah.
So what types of readings do they specialize in?
They seem to cover a pretty broad spectrum. Tarot, astrology, numerology, the classics.
Yeah, those are pretty standard.
But then they also delve into things like aura readings, dream interpretation, and even past life regressions.
Past life regressions. That's one I've always been curious about. Imagine the insights you could uncover, about yourself.
It's definitely intriguing.
What about healing services? Do they mention what modalities they use?
They both seem to have strong backgrounds in energy healing, particularly Reiki. And the testimonials you provided, many clients mention experiencing relief from physical and emotional pain. Some even report spiritual breakthroughs.
Yeah, it's amazing how energy work is gaining more and more mainstream acceptance these days. There's something powerful about tapping into those subtle energies, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. And what's interesting here is that Starseed Psychics really emphasizes a personalized approach.
Oh.
Tailoring their services to each individual's needs. They even offer custom-made art pieces, based on your energy, which I think adds a unique dimension to their offerings.
Okay, now that's something I haven't heard of before.
Yeah.
An art piece channeling my specific energy. I need to hear more about that.
From what I gather, Gypsy Wind uses her intuitive abilities to tap into your energy field and then translate that into a visual representation.
Oh, yeah.
It's a way of kind of externalizing and honoring your unique energetic signature, I imagine it can be quite a powerful and personalized experience.
It definitely sounds like it. I can see how that would resonate with people seeking a tangible representation of their inner world.
Okay, so we've covered the readings and healing, but let's not forget about their marketplace. What kind of spiritual treasures can people find there? It's like a veritable emporium for anyone on a spiritual path. Handmade jewelry adorned with crystals, essential oil blends for various intentions, ritual tools, divination decks, pendulums, you name it, they've got it.
So if you need supplies for your spiritual toolkit, they've got you covered. You also mentioned offering online courses. What are those all about?
From what you've shared, it looks like they cover a pretty wide range of topics. Things like developing psychic abilities, understanding various healing modalities, and even some practical skills like building a successful spiritual business.
Interesting.
It seems like they want to empower others to not only grow spiritually, but to also share their gifts with the world.
I like that. It's not just about consuming spiritual services. It's about like fostering a community and encouraging individuals to step into their own power,
Right.
which kind of circles back to that theme of mass spiritual awakening that seems to be at the heart of their mission.
Okay.
They're really trying to create a ripple effect, wouldn't you say?
Precisely. By offering these tools and resources, they're not just providing services, they're fostering a movement. It's like they're building an ecosystem where spirituality can thrive, both on a personal and a collective level.
Speaking of collective, we haven't really touched on the whole starseed concept yet.
Ah,
They
yes.
mentioned it quite a bit on their website. What exactly does it mean to be a starseed?
It's this fascinating concept rooted in the belief that, well, some souls originate from other star systems, and they've incarnated on Earth with the specific mission to help humanity evolve.
So they believe they're literally from outer space. That's an
Mm.
interesting perspective, to say the least.
Yeah.
Do many people believe in this?
The starseed concept has definitely gained some traction in recent years, particularly within New Age and like esoteric circles.
Yeah, I can see that.
It resonates with individuals who feel a deep connection to the cosmos and, sense of purpose beyond the mundane. But it's certainly not a mainstream belief. And it does invite skepticism from some.
Right. I can see how that could be a polarizing idea. Some people might find it inspiring, while others might just dismiss it as far-fetched. But, whether you believe in starseeds or not, it's interesting how this belief shapes Starseed Psychics' mission.
Exactly. It gives their work a sense of urgency and, I don't know, cosmic significance. They see themselves as agents of change, here to guide humanity towards a higher consciousness. And this belief system seems to be a driving force behind their passion and dedication.
It makes you wonder how much of this starseed identity resonates with their clients.
Yeah.
You know, do people seek them out specifically because of this belief?
That's a question worth exploring. You included some forum discussions in your sources, remember?
Oh, right.
Maybe we can gain some insight into how the whole starseed concept is perceived by those outside the organization.
Ooh, I love getting into those different perspectives. Let's see what people are saying about Starseed Psychics. Are they living up to their cosmic claims? Okay, so we've gone pretty deep into Starseed Psychics' world, their origins, their services, that whole Starseed philosophy. But now I think it's time to, zoom out a bit, get that outside perspective.
Exactly. What's the general consensus out there? Are they living up to the hype?
Spill the tea. What are people saying about Starseed Psychics? Are they the real deal?
Well, the reviews you've provided are largely positive. Clients consistently praise the team's authenticity and genuine desire to help.
Yeah, that definitely seems to be a recurring theme.
Many reviewers report feeling empowered and supported in their spiritual growth, after working with them.
Right, right. That definitely aligns with what we've seen so far. They project this image of being deeply invested in their client's well-being, not just, running a transactional business. But I'm also curious about the not-so-glowing reviews. What are some of the criticisms?
There are a few interesting threads in the less favorable reviews. Some people, find the whole starseed concept a bit too far out there, even for the spiritual community.
Yeah, I can see that. It's a pretty bold claim, and not everyone's going to buy into it. Were there any other concerns?
A few reviewers express skepticism about the efficacy of some services, particularly energy healing. Results can be subjective, and it's an area where it's easy to make claims that are hard to prove or disprove.
Right. It's always wise to approach any spiritual service or product with a healthy dose of discernment. Not every practitioner is created equal, and it's important to do your research and trust your intuition.
Absolutely. Even within legitimate spiritual practices, there will always be individuals who, overpromise or misrepresent their abilities. So, critical thinking is essential no matter what path you're on.
Couldn't agree more. So we've got this mix of reviews, which is to be expected, I guess. But overall, it seems like the positive feedback outweighs the negative. People generally seem to connect with Starseed Psychics' approach and, find value in their services.
I think that speaks to their authenticity, their commitment to building a genuine community. They're not just selling services, they're fostering connections and empowering individuals to tap into their own potential.
It's like they've created this bridge between the mystical and the mundane, showing people that spirituality isn't just something you do on a retreat or in a meditation room. It can be like woven into the fabric of everyday life.
Precisely. And that brings us back to that overarching question we've been kind of circling around this whole time. What does the emergence of a group like Starseed Psychics tell us about the evolving role of spirituality in the modern world?
Right. Are we seeing a shift towards a more holistic and integrated approach to personal growth, where spirituality is no longer like confined to the fringes, but becomes a core part of how we live, work, and connect with others?
It's a fascinating trend, and Starseed Psychics is a really compelling case study. They're leveraging technology to spread their message and reach a wider audience. They're blending ancient wisdom with modern business practices. And they're creating a space where individuals can, explore their spiritual potential while also contributing to like a collective shift in consciousness.
It's like they're saying spirituality isn't just about personal enlightenment anymore. It's about actively shaping a more conscious and interconnected world.
Exactly. And that's a powerful message, regardless of whether you subscribe to their starseed beliefs or not. It challenges us to think about how we can each contribute to, a more compassionate and awakened society.
So what does all this mean for you, dear listener? That's the question I want to leave you with today. How is spirituality evolving in your own life? And how can you use your unique gifts and experiences to create positive change in the world?
That's a wonderful point to end on. We've explored Starseed Psychics in depth, their origins, their offerings, all those diverse perspectives surrounding them. Ultimately, it's up to each individual to decide what resonates with them. But one thing's for sure, this group has tapped into a growing desire for a more integrated and meaningful approach to life.
It's been a fascinating deep dive. Thanks for joining us. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep shining your light.